Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another perfume review video. My name is Naz. This is my channel, the King of Hidden Gems. I try to bring to your attention fragrances are usually very good value for money. They smell good. I think at least you should do your research, try them for yourself and see if they're any good to you. So in this video I have an unboxing and first impression for you, and this is from the brand Zara. Zara doesn't need introduction. I think many of you will know Zara. They are a very well-known clothing brand in European countries. Majority of European countries, they have Zara in them, especially big cities, and they also deliver. So if you want to purchase any of their fragrances in particular, but also the clothing, you can buy, and they deliver, I think, everywhere in the world apart from places that are impossible to send. So they are very successful brand, and from the say about 10 years ago they started to have their own fragrance lines as well, and their fragrance line is super extensive, it's huge. The only problem with Zara is they change a lot, so they put out a fragrance and maybe 6 months later, 3 months later, sometimes a year later, it disappears. They discontinue a lot, and that is part of their philosophy. Their philosophy is they make things that is trendy. So whatever is trendy at the moment in the market, they make it, and they make it on the, shall we say, affordable side. Not affordable in terms of cheapness, but affordable in terms of what you pay and what you get. For example, some of their clothing, they copy, big brands, which cost you hundreds and hundreds of pounds or dollars, and then you can go and buy similar clothing, whatever that clothing is, for a fraction of that price, and they are quite good for what they do. Especially in terms of fragrances, which are important to us, and we're talking about this. Their fragrances, majority of them, they smell good, they are good quality. The only thing is they lack performance. In the beginning, when they started to put out fragrances, they were quite good. They were lasting more than 6, 7, 8 hours, their fragrances. But lately, majority of their fragrances, they don't perform that well. Maybe 3, 4 hours, and maybe if you want it on clothing, to up to 5 hours. So when I saw this beauty, and I because it was up my alley, I like this genre of green fragrances, I had to get it and see how it goes. So this one in particular, called Coastal Salty Forest. For the name like that, I had to get it. So it intrigues me. And it's Eau de Parfum 100 ml, and as he said, it's Zara. And in the back, it says blah 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 blah. The notes are bergamot, pine, and patchouli, salty, airy, and cool. And it's got all the details, blah blah blah. It's quite a nice box. This one in the United Kingdom you can find under £30. And let's go and see how it goes. Before I do that, if you like what I do, if you find it useful, informative, or valuable, hit those buttons. This way you help me, you motivate me, you encourage me to make videos like this in future. Thank you very much for your support, and let's go. So as you can see, nice box, quite white everywhere, and then I think this is Seaweed or some kind of, anyway, and it opens up like this, and the bottle sits like this. It's quite a nice bottle, and the cap is wooden effect, or is it wood? So the cap is like a, yeah, it's a wooden effect, so it looks like a wood, but it's not a wood. And then the atomizer, oh, let me show you the bottle first. The coloring is gorgeous on this, and the bottle itself is very cute. It's very good looking. It says Zara Coastal Salty Forest, and here we go. Let's go with the atomizer. Very good atomizer. Okay, so Zara Coastal Salty Coastal, salty, and forest. Let's go. Wow, feeling the room. Whew. First thing it hits me in the face is the saltiness. It's super salty. Yeah, very salty. Very realistic. It's like you're on the Atlantic coastal side, and those waves are hitting the coast, and is, you know, those water vapors coming towards you, and he's smelling the salty and the water. Very realistic, very good quality. Ooh, it's got that seaweedy feel to it as well. So it's seaweedy, it's coastal, it's oceanic, it's salty, it's very salty. It's one of the saltiest fragrance I ever smelled, and I've, you know, smelled many salty fragrances, but this is by far it's the saltiest. So if you like that salty feel, this is up your alley. It's got it's got backbone of piney, and also there's another thing that gives it a camphorous feel. So I'm guessing there's something maybe like something resinous, green but resinous, leafy. Maybe there's an oak moss in here as well to give it that feel as well. On the note breakdown, it doesn't mention that much, but is much more than the note breakdown. This is much more complex. Ooh, so big things is the greenness. First thing it hits you is the salt, then it hits you is the oceanic feel to it, and the seaweedy feel to it, and then is the greenness of it. It's like a green forest. You're in the it's like you're in the forest, but you're on the coastal forest. Okay, as he says, salty forest and coastal is that description is perfect for it. So imagine if you, but this smell is like a coastal on a cold coastal, yeah. Say somewhere like Norway, or somewhere like Denmark, or somewhere like Iceland, or Greenland, somewhere that is very cold, but in very brief summer you get very few weeks of summer. That smell is like you're standing on the forest, which is overlooking the sea, and the sea is a little bit rough, and the salt is coming towards you in the water vapor when that wave is hitting the coast. So this is very good interpretation, or this very good regeneration or recreation of that feel of coastal with a very salty air, and also very realistic. The quality is superb here. Goodness me, what a beauty. There's almost no sweetness. There is tiny bit in the background, but almost no sweetness. So this is, you won't buy this for the sweetness, okay? You will buy it for the green, salty, oceanic, seaweedy, foresty, green, almost herbal. There's some herbal aspect to it as well. Yeah, there's some like a kitchen herbal aspect to it. Maybe coriander, maybe there's basil, maybe there are many components in here. It's quite complex for what it is. I'm usually not a big fan of aquatic fragrances, but this is in a different level. I'm loving the interpretation, or in the recreation of that feel of a very cold, foresty, and oceanic coastal coast. Is beautiful, gorgeous. 10 out of 10 for the opening. The opening is mesmerizing. But there are a few buts here. First thing first, this is definitely mature, because there are so many components that I don't think a young nose will appreciate. I would say even 30 and up to be on the safe side, because it has got many components from classical perfumery as well, from 70s, 80s and 90s. The only thing is they're taking it to different level. They're taking it to like 10 plus in terms of how they exaggerating everything in here. So the saltiness is exaggerated to 10. The the coastal feel to it is exaggerated to 10. Is the oceanic and the seaweedy feel is again is exaggerated to 10. So everything here is very radical. Okay, there is nothing here to make it safe, so you are in an element that makes you actually vulnerable. So that's why it is very mature, and also it's very complex, it's very intriguing, it's very sophisticated, it's very it's like it takes you places, definitely takes you in those cold, coastal, foresty, salty, oceanic places, as I said, I mentioned before. So for that, for opening, 10 out of 10 for me, at least. But definitely not for everybody. This is very, I wouldn't say challenging, but it's not easy going. It's not one of those fragrances that you say, okay, I'll put it on and go. What is, does it remind me of anything? There are some components of it. It reminds me of some other fragrances, but nothing like this. This is like, as I said, is they taking it to another level. They elevating it to 10 plus. Okay, so for that, this is quite unique. I never smelled anything like it before. As I said, I smelled similar thing to it, but much toned down, much safer, much easier going than this. This is like, if you like this kind of thing, here you go. You have it in a very exaggerated way. Okay guys, I think I covered it for the first impression, first sniff, everything I wanted to do. So definitely not for everybody, definitely for mature nose, definitely for people who like those kind of fragrances, oceanic, salty to very maximum salt, seaweedy to the maximum seaweed, and also foresty, green, herbal, and mossy, and piney to the maximum again. For me, this is beauty. I love this kind of fragrances, although I'm not a big fan of aquatic fragrances, but I love the genre of green fragrances, and this one is satisfying me to the max. Beauty in a bottle. Okay guys, occasions, I have no idea where you can wear this, but it could be easily worn any way you like. For now, it's very loud, so I have to let you know the performance and the development, things like that in the next video. But mamma mia, Zara's done here is a very good job. It's amazing. Okay guys, thank you very much for joining me. As always, if you like what I do, if you find it informative, if you find it valuable or useful, hit those buttons. And if you like to purchase one of my own fragrances, they are out of this world, very artistic, ultra beast mode, but you need to live in the United Kingdom in order to purchase them. I leave them in the links in the description as well. If you know it, if you have it, if you know something similar to it, let other people know as well. Thank you very much, and I'll see you later. Bye.